Now that AMC has been flooded with the $53 intraday today and closing above 51, things are looking finger licking good for a potential of a big gamma squeeze in the play. A perfect storm is kind of brewing, and I mean, you just never know with AMC because you want to hope for the best, guys, as always. Okay, I mean, if it was just me, like if I were just, things were just depending on me, tomorrow we most, like tomorrow we I mean 40,000 a share. But unfortunately, it's not the case. Well, before we get to that point, we have a great potential at hitting another major, potentially a new high in the play. Well, guys, I want to share with you the option chain, because whenever you talk about a gamma squeeze, it's about options. I mean, looking at the chart first, this is a 6 month. Well, the trend, it's pretty damn solid. It looks like it's going to hit those 60s. And we know with AMC, once we hit those 60s and even the 55s, it's a whole setup for, a cataclysmic event in a good way. Okay? Now, keep that in mind, because when you look at the option chain, first of all, you have 180, almost 185,000 calls in the money. Well, this is just Monday. It's just Monday, and with what we've seen for the last weeks on AMC, things are looking pretty good on the uptrend. But the fact that I'm saying it's just Monday, it's because we still have 4 days in a row to go. All right, but by looking at the parity on the puts and the calls, here you go. You have 185,000 calls and you only have 13,000 puts already in the money. Well, people are very bullish, and in the case we end up closing and reaching the $55 mark, we have an additional 30,000 calls in the money at that price. Well, I'm not sure entirely if the market makers were expecting this, because instead of major moves, instead of major spikes like we've seen in June, so far, we are steadily in the 4%, 3%, 8%, maybe 12, 15%. But since we went from the 33 to the 44, it's been really consistently, 3%, 6%, 8%, barely the double digits, but consistently every single day. And even when we have some major pullbacks, it was just like, 0 point, less than a percent. So that's what I'm saying. Based on this, I'm not entirely sure that the market makers would have anticipated this and covered. I might be totally wrong, guys. I might be totally wrong on this, but for now, it doesn't seem like, I'm not seeing this happening for the current moment. Now, maybe tomorrow we start seeing those market makers hedging, and that may bring an additional, volume in the play and push the share price potentially in the 55. I don't know. But also look at the fail to delivers. We are again at some pretty interesting number here, around 916,000. You can also see that here. The fail to delivers on AMC, it's incredibly high. Just look where we stand right now, even with the $33 price. All the options around 33, around here, since August 13, it's still pretty, it's high, and the fail to deliver on AMC has been historically higher than all the rest of the securities in the market. It's incredible. Also, keep in mind that so far, on the 10th, we were still above 60% volume being traded on dog pools. So maybe it doesn't take as much as it used to take for them to bring the share price down. So What does that mean? It means if things go as they are supposed to, I emphasize on the supposed to because we've seen multiple times that failed to deliver gamma squeeze didn't really go as expected. And if you look at the calendar, next Friday it's quadruple witching day. And we know that on that day and kind of prior to that day, the volatility is off the roof, not only on AMC, but with the market in general. It doesn't necessarily mean that the price is going to tank or the price is going to soar. It just means there's going to be a lot of volatility. Now, with AMC still on the uptrend and actually entering this third cycle of uptrend, I would expect this quadruple witching to be on the favor of the bulls because so far the bulls are in control of the price. But this might also be another opportunity for the short sellers to also use that and just wiped out some of the contracts around the mid 50s or the 60s if we are already at that price. But again, with AMC and any other stock, you cannot predict the future. It doesn't happen to happen exactly as I said so. Otherwise, I'm just a random guy on YouTube, so don't quote me on that. Now, if you hold some calls, be pretty careful. As every other week in AMC, be extremely careful going into this Friday because of the quadruple witching day. But also with the whole market kind of weighing on the inflation and the tax hike, it's going to also be interesting to see how the whole indexes and the ETFs holding AMC might also behave in order to see whether we maintain these levels or we just skyrocket to new high. Because it has the potential of bringing us this week to new highs and maybe higher. You just never know. You just never know with AMC, but you have to be careful. That's why I always say hope for the best, but also prepare for the worst.